Today from Reliant Stadium, Peyton Manning and the Colts try to secure the AFC South title. We'll have the kickoff next.
Back to throw is Manning again. Wide open, touchdown. Dumps it up in the end zone, touchdown!
Manning dropping, Manning pressure, caught, touchdown Indianapolis Colts.
Manning out of a shotgun. Touchdown! Sets up, touchdown! I think they got it, they're gonna win!
And a month from now, the Indianapolis Colts are hoping to book their flights to Houston, Texas, the site of Super Bowl 38. Just about ready for kickoff. Before we do that, let's send it downstairs. Third member of our broadcast team, Hall of Famer Marcus Allen.
Thanks, Ian. We always talk about teams speaking at the right time. Well, players speak at the right time, too. Edgerrin James for the Colts is finally returning to top form from that devastating knee injury 2 years ago. He's starting to have that explosiveness again, guys. And I talked to Tony Dungy. He said it's the freshest he's seen Edgerrin, and that's dangerous for any opponent, guys. Back upstairs.
That's a good point. And Solomon, he missed 3 games earlier in the season with that back injury, and maybe that body is a little bit fresher in December.
Yeah, they're using him less as a receiver. You know, normally they would line him out wide and try to throw him the ball, and he would run into the defense on slant routes, but now they're exclusively using him out of the backfield and using other running backs to catch the ball.
Indianapolis coming off an embarrassing loss to Denver, 31-17. They've won the toss, and Houston will kick it off with Chris Brown. Dominique Rhodes, the deep man for Indy, standing at his own goal line. Colts 11-4. Texans second year of existence, 5-10. Regular season finale from Houston. Brown on the kickoff, and here's Rhodes returning. Dominique Rhodes looking for a lane. Gets through a hole, cuts it back at the midfield area and cuts into Houston territory before DeMarcus Fagans brings him down. Strong return by Dominique Rhodes. 49 yards to get this one started. First and 10, 49-yard line of Houston to open up. Manning on the give to James, a stiff arm. And James smacked down at midfield by Kylie Wong. Some help from Jay Foreman, a loss of 1. On a 2nd and 11 for the Colts. Manning straight back. Quick throw. It's Pollard, the tight end. Drives forward to the 40-yard line, a little bit shy of a first down as Marcus Coleman took that hit. It's a 10-yard gain.
And Tony Dungy told us, he said, we're going to give them some 3 wide receiver sets. We're going to go no huddle. He doesn't want Dom Capers to come with the 3 and 4 defensive back packages, so he wants to be able to keep his receivers out there and feel like he gets a more favorable matchup with his 3 wide receiver sets.
3rd and 1 right now for Indianapolis. You see what they've done on 3rd downs this season, nearly 42%, top 10 in the National Football League. Out of the shotgun, Manning. Manning steps forward and zings one out. Incomplete. Marvin Harrison matched up with Fagans. And Indianapolis is unable to convert.
Well, watch the coverage by Fagans because he does an excellent job in coverage matched up against Harrison in the slot. Now watch him undercut this route. See, when he comes underneath, it puts him in a tremendous position to intercept the pass. And this young player, you know, we have heard a lot about him coming in. He's getting his first start this week. But I see why Dom Capers decided to go with Fagans, because he has good footwork and great anticipation.
And the Colts do nothing with tremendous field position set up by the return by Dominique Rhodes. Now, J.J. Moses, the punt returner for Houston, and Hunter Smith standing at his own 45. High punt sailing over the head of Moses. It'll take a bounce into the end zone and a touchback. 40-yard punt, a net of just 20. Out of Miami, Dominic Davis, the running back as well, can crack 1,000. Davis gets the call. Spun around on first down, and he picks up a yard, yard and a half. Just about everybody involved for Indianapolis. Donald Strickland gets the nod. On the give, Davis trying to push the pile, keeps the legs churning, and he gains 3 on 2nd down. Morris involved in the stop for Indianapolis.
Well, you mentioned the leg drive of Dominic Davis. That's the reason why He leads all rookie running backs in rushing so far this year, looking to go over 1,000 yards this season. But his ability to sustain that leg drive, that's what allows him to break tackles. He's not a big guy, but he's low to the ground. He runs with greater power than what his body weight would suggest.
Davis told us his goal was just to make a team in the NFL. He wasn't even thinking about starting. He got the nod week 6 for Houston this year, a 3rd and 6. 4 receiver set. Carr sets up. Carr, a pump fake. Throw. Caught. And level. They rule it incomplete. Derek Armstrong getting smacked just shy of the marker in his first year from Arkansas Monticello.
Yeah, Armstrong will take a whack. And this is what Tony Dungy wanted. He wanted to see his team come out with a greater intensity, with a greater sense of urgency. They've heard it all week that the Colts, you know, they're one of those teams you can't trust once they get into the postseason, but he's showing up here today.
Punt from Chad Stanley after that stick from Nick Harper. Return man Troy Walters, fair catch. And he brings it in cleanly at the 26-yard line. Happy holidays, everybody. We are scoreless in the first. In that loss to Denver last week, the Colts had 183 total yards, lowest output since 1998 against San Diego. And Indianapolis is trying to end the regular season on a high note, getting a win and also taking the AFC South title. They open up this drive with a 1st and 10 at the 26. And Manning out of the gun. Fake the handoff. Manning, heavy rush, and he is dumped. Steve Foley and Junior Ioane.
Yeah, this is something you don't see much from this Texans defense this year. And that is a sack on the quarterback. Came in with only 18 on the year. That's the 2nd worst total in the National Football League. But early on, Dom Capers is going to send him because he knows that Peyton Manning wants to come in throwing the football.
Chicago, the only team in the NFL with less sacks than Houston. Give Foley the sack on that play. 2nd down on the give. Edgerrin James cutting through that hole and able to bring it back past the original line of scrimmage. Tupe Pico with a key block, a 10-yard gain.
During the break, Marcus Allen had mentioned, and there is a player down on the field right now, but Marcus Allen had mentioned on the previous possession that the Colts had decided to throw the ball on a 3rd and 1 instead of giving it to Edgerrin James. They give it to him right there on the draw play, and that will slow down the pass rush.
Injury to Junior Ioane, 4th year out of Arizona State, the former Raider. We'll come back after this. Junior Ioane able to walk off to the sideline. This team has already lost Seth Payne and Gary Walker throughout the season on the D-line. This is a 3rd and 10 for Indianapolis. Dime package for Houston. On 3rd down, Manning has the time, throws too high, looking for Brandon Stokely. And the Colts will punt again.
And Ian, on this play, Stokely's open, but it's a different look. And this is what Dom Caper does. He brings the exotic blitzes, only electing to go with 2 down linemen that time. Only 2 linebackers. There are 6 defensive backs in the game. And then you see Sharper and Foreman are your 2 down linebackers, and then Foley comes up and he provides the pass rush. But look, Stokely's open. So it's a different look that time for Peyton Manning, and that's why he can't hit a receiver who's wide open on the play.
2nd punt of the day for Hunter Smith. J.J. Moses waiting for it at his own 32. Smith, high punt, sending Moses back to the 25. Here's Moses. Little juke move, stays on his feet. And Moses advances it to the 33-yard line. Justin Snow, the snapper, makes the play after the 49-yard punt. Texans on offense. Texans have lost 3 straight, 4 of their last 5. Tight one last week, 27-24 loss to Tennessee. Steve McNair driving his team down the field late and hitting Drew Bennett for the game-winning score. They've played in a lot of close games, especially here at home this season. On a 1st and 10 from the 34. Carr, look at the time. Sets it up for Dominic Davis. And Davis across the 40-yard line on that flip for 8 yards. Marcus Washington, the tackle for Indy. 2nd and 2 now for Houston. No score. Under 10 minutes to go in this first quarter. Davis in the backfield with Moran Norris. They give it to Davis. Running into a crowd, and he comes up short of a 1st down. A 1-yard gain. Washington again makes the stop for the Colts.
And Ian, so much has been said about this run defense for the Indianapolis Colts. You know, they're used to playing that Tampa 2, that cover 2 zone that Tony Dungy had in Tampa Bay, but they haven't been able to run much of it. They're having to bring the safeties up in the box to help try to defend the run. So they need that 8 guy in the box. And you look at the run defense under Jim Mora, not much better since Tony Dungy has come over in terms of points allowed and yards allowed.
On third down, Carr throws it. Broken up along the sideline. Good play by Harper in a matchup with a veteran Corey Bradford.
Oh, it was a wonderful play by Nick Harper, showing excellent footwork, and he'll come out of the break. And this is what you're looking for in an NFL cornerback, because his back is turned to the quarterback. And then once he turns around, look how he gets a hand around, able to knock the ball down without interfering with the receiver.
Still no first downs here in this first quarter. And another punt for Chad Stanley. Troy Walters standing at his own 10-yard line. Spiraling kick. Walters ranges over. He wants to return it from the 10. Walters cannot get to the 15-yard line, and Jason Simmons made sure of it. Indy deep in their own territory after the 4-yard return. The Indianapolis Colts have the number 3 rated offense in the NFL, number 1 in passing numbers this season, and so far 9 total yards in their first 2 possessions. They take over with a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line for Peyton Manning. On the ground, Edgerrin James cutting it to the outside, and James is twirled down by Jay Foreman. That's a 6-yard gain for James.
And the Colts go out 3 and out on their first 2 possessions. Normally, the Texans will run a 3-4 defense, and Dom Capers right now giving the Colts a different look. They're using 2 down linemen, Steve Martin and Jerry DeLoach, going with the 4 linebackers and bringing on a 4th defensive back. You'll see different types of rotation in terms of personnel on defense from Dom Capers all day.
Jamie Sharper told us he likes the chess match between the defense and Manning, and you're seeing it right now. Manning checking off at the line of scrimmage. Crowd trying to increase the volume on 2nd down. Switch to a running play, and it's James banging his way across the 25, and a 1st down, our first of the day.
Well, watch, this is Tarek Glenn, big 78, the tackle pulling, but watch DeLoach. 95, see the extension, separation, then he comes off the block, and he's able to make the tackle. It's just an excellent play by defensive end. You saw a big guy moving, running fast down the line, then separating, getting off the block to make the tackle.
7-yard pickup for James. And a new set of downs for Indianapolis to work with. Under 8 minutes to go in the first. On 1st down, Manning. Quick toss. The connection made to Marcus Pollard. And he is spilled out across the 35. Combination of Sharper and Wong. And it's good for a 10-yard gain and a 1st down.
Marcus Pollard is the bailout guy for this offense. And Manning told us he thought that Pollard would have a big game today, and felt like he should have had a big game last week against Denver, where he dropped some important balls. But today he's going to have another opportunity to make up for it.
No huddle offense for Indy on a 1st and 10 from the 36. Manning directing traffic. Long count for the Pro Bowl. Go to the running play, and it's James stacked up at the 40-yard line. He gains 4 on 1st down. Steve Martin involved in the stop for Houston.
Boy, Steve Foley, he can come off the ball. That linebacker came over from the Cincinnati Bengals, had been released in training camp. He came off the ball, and that's what forced Edgerrin James to cut it up the field, because he came off on Tarek Glenn, the left tackle, and got the penetration Dom Capers love to see from his defensive front.
Houston ranked 29th in the NFL against the run. On the ground again, and James doesn't have much room to work with. 4-yard gain. Jason Simmons, first man there, able to shoot through the hole to make the stop.
Oh, once again, Tarek Glenn, that time he got the chop block on Steve Foley. But Foley was still able to come off and make the tackle. So they're starting to get some good pressure up front. And then watch it here. See, he'll get chop block, but watch him get back up, and he's still able to make the tackle along with Jay Foreman. So good play at the point of attack from this defensive line for the Houston Texans.
Looking to convert on 3rd down. This is a 3rd and 2 for the Colts. Crowd cranking it up here at Reliant. On the handoff, big hole for Edgerrin James, and loses the ball at the end of the play. Colts able to recover it at the 40-yard line of Houston. Rick DeMulling, the left guard, able to cover up 16-yard burst.
Well, it's DeMulling who gets the block that springs the hole for Edgerrin James. And then after the fumble, then DeMulling continues up the field. 64, he'll get on the football. So the left guard's making a big play, getting a tremendous block and coming away with the football.
7 carries, 45 yards for Edgerrin James. Colts putting it together on this drive. It's Manning to throw, mixing it up. And he hits his man, Brandon Stokely, for a solid gainer on first down. 7 yards. Jay Foreman, the tackle for Houston.
The no huddle is meant to keep a certain personnel defensively on the field for the Houston Texans. Tony Dungy, he doesn't want Dom Capers rotating guys in and out. Once you get a look at a personnel, you go no huddle to keep those guys on the field, and maybe you can make an adjustment as Peyton Manning make the play call at the line of scrimmage.
And they like the no huddle on the road, trying to quell the crowd noise. Don't give them that much time to rev it up on a 2nd and 3. Manning, pump fake, throws it to the sideline. Incomplete. Marvin Harrison along with DeMarcus Fagans, and tight coverage for the youngster.
Yeah, Fagans is right in the hip pocket of Marvin Harrison. Watch the block. See the jam there, and see he's right where you want to be. That's great position, even though the ball's thrown behind Marvin Harrison intentionally on that stop fade. Harrison's not able to come away with the ball because, you know, Fagans had really good coverage on the play.
9th play of the drive. On a 3rd and 3. Shotgun, Manning. Here comes the rush. Manning steps forward, throws a floater, is caught by Stokely. And a first down for Indianapolis, just shy of the 25-yard line. A 6-yard pickup through the air. And even with a loss here by Indy, a loss for Tennessee would give the Colts the division title. We'll keep you posted throughout the day around the National Football League. Under 4 minutes to go. First quarter here in Houston. On a 1st and 10, Manning out of the gun. Steps up, looking for the long ball. And broken up. It looked like Stokely may have touched the football that was intended for Marvin Harrison.
There you had 2 receivers in the same area, and Stokely understands he wasn't supposed to be there. You saw Peyton Manning suggest, what are you doing there? Because he takes his defender in the same area where Harrison is going for the ball. And see, look, Harrison was open, even though Fagans may have been the one to get a ball in there. I should say a hand on the ball, but Peyton Manning's really upset. He's like, you've got to get wider. We can't have you in that area, so that he can complete the pass for a touchdown to Marvin Harrison.
Now the problem right now for Houston, though, DeMarcus Fagans is on the ground. We'll step aside. DeMarcus Fagans getting his first NFL start, trying to jog off the field. Fagans was hurt on that pass coverage with Marvin Harrison. 17 players on injured reserve. That is the most in the NFL. Fagans nicknamed Petey. His grandmother gave him the nickname because she thought he looked like the dog from the Little Rascals.
Well, with Aaron Glenn out and Kenny Wright both on injured reserve, they bring up DeMarcus Fagans. And I see why he got the start, because he's been doing a phenomenal job of covering Marvin Harrison so far in this game.
They bring an extra lineman in, and Derek Vaughn has now checked in. Former Atlanta Falcon on a 2nd and 10. 3:31 to go, first quarter. Indianapolis, 11th play of the drive. Running play, Edgerrin James. And a lot of blue jerseys in the area. Wong and Martin there. It's a 3-yard gain. Let's go downstairs to Marcus Allen.
Well, thanks, Ian. As you can tell, Edgerrin James is starting to build up a ladder. Great running backs need the football. What happens is, I used to get disinterested when I was a decoy, when I didn't get into the game early. I think that the Colts made the mistake of not going on that 3rd and 1. They realized they got to get him the ball. It only will make the offensive plays, the passing plays, much better, guys.
8 carries, 48 yards for James today. And normally they do feed him the football 20-plus times. Last week he was taken out of his game, as was the entire Colts offense. On 3rd down, Manning steps up. Manning on the flip. Reggie Wayne trying to create after the catch, and it will be very close to a first down. Derek Vaughn got over there defensively.
Boy, Peyton Manning, he's like an android. He's like a computer. He was surveying the entire football field, looking up, and then watch. You're going to see the receiver, Reggie Wayne, come across at the last minute, and watch Peyton just flicking the ball. See there? He just gets him the ball because he says, well, you're my fifth option. After watching the first, second, third, and fourth guy in the progression, he checks it down to Wayne, and they're going to come close to picking up the first down. So Peyton Manning does a wonderful job at processing so much information rather quickly, and then he's making the right decision by getting the football to Reggie Wayne.
They extend the chains, and you see how short they are. Just about the length of the football, 4th and inches. Or you're looking at a 35 or 36-yard field goal from the man that has been the most consistent in the NFL this year, Mike Vanderjagt.
And Ian, you heard Marcus Allen talk about, you know, the running game and Edgerrin James helping the passing game. You often hear people talk about balance, but more importantly, you have to allow the defense to guess a little bit. They don't know what the coach is doing, and the more they can hammer the running game, I think it frees up Peyton Manning to make even bigger plays because they force the safety to come up in the box and respect their ability to run the football.
They are going to go for it on 4th and inches. 11 of 16 on 4th down conversions this season. The 13th play of the drive with James and the fullback Tom Lipinski now in there. Double tight end set. Pollard and Joe Dean Davenport. 4th and inches for Indy. Lipinski in motion. Manning, handoff. James is tripped up. Edgerrin James fell over his own man, Rick DeMulling, and he did not get to the marker.
Well, you know why he wasn't going to be able to get to the marker? The Texans, they crowded the box with 10 defensive players. They had 10 guys at the box, and they were able to shut down Edgerrin James and send him back. No first down for the Indianapolis Colts. Now, here's a play that Peyton Manning has to check out of because, look, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then they're going to bring a 7th over when Lipinski motions. Too many guys to block. And Lipinski tips off the hand of the offense. That's the side they want to block. No way they can run the ball where there's more defenders than they can block and still pick up the first down.
And Houston, by virtue of their defense, takes over 1st and 10 at the 19. David Carr on the screen pass. Dominic Davis dances his way out across the 20-yard line, and a modest gain of 3 on first down. David Macklin with the tackle on the perimeter.
Yeah, we have a game of chess match between really two great defensive-minded coaches. Dom Capers, of course, has led some really wonderful defenses when he was with the Saints, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Carolina Panthers. We all know about what Tony Dungy can do, what he did in Tampa, and now with the Indianapolis Colts. So they're playing a great game of chess on both sides of the ball.
On a 2nd and 7 now for Houston. Hard count by Carr. Handoff. Davis coming to the outside, and Davis angles his way out of bounds. Just a little bit shy of a first down. Steve McKinney pulling to help out.
Yeah, McKinney gets out in front. Weary also 61, give it the kick out. And it's the decisiveness and really the aggressive running style of Dominic Davis that allows him to get to the corner. He's really made this offense very proud because we all know how bad they were 1 year ago in terms of their run blocking ability and their inability to protect the quarterback. But he's made this an entirely different offense because he's a tremendous weapon out of the backfield.
Now 56 yards shy of 1,000 in his rookie season. 3rd and 1. Bootleg. Carr throwing. Tip ball. And incomplete. He was looking for Norris. And Raheem Brock may have gotten a piece of it. Bengals trying to keep some pressure on the Ravens. A punt from Chad Stanley. Troy Walters. Fair catch. And he hauls it in at the 25-yard line. 47-yard punt. Well, the roof is closed here today at Reliant Stadium, and they made that decision at 10:30. Some rain in the forecast, and it's a nice luxury to have. The roof will be closed for Super Bowl 38 when it's played here in February.
It is a wonderful venue for a big game like the Super Bowl, and what I like is, see that roof is closed, but you still get the natural lighting that you're like. It's not a dark, dank stadium like what we've seen in some domes.
1st and 10 with under a minute to go in the first quarter. No score, Indianapolis and Houston. Here's Manning throwing on first down to Stokely. And Stokely brings it in for a 9-yard pickup. Steve Foley with a stop. Solomon, DeMarcus Fagans, they are x-raying his lower left leg right now. We'll get your report on that as soon as we get the info.
Tremendous loss because, you know, they have Marcus Coleman. They've already lost Kenny Wright and Aaron Glenn. So Fagans are really their 4th corner. Now they're working with their 5th corner and Derek Vaughn. And you know what? The ability does drop off when you get to your 4th and 5th player on that side of the ball.
On 2nd and short, James carries for 2. Steve Foley the hit. And a first down for Indianapolis, which will be the final play of this first quarter. Now, Peyton Manning felt that the offense was exposed last week in that loss to Denver. Houston, maybe copying a page out of the Broncos playbook, doing a good job defensively through the first quarter of action. No score. Second quarter play is coming up from Houston. Houston is yet to register a first down as we start play in the second quarter. Ian Eagle, Solomon Wilcots, Marcus Allen with you on CBS. No score. The Colts and the Texans. Question marks surrounding Indianapolis after their loss to Denver last week. They were hoping to answer them quickly here today. They got no points in the first quarter, though. Shotgun on a 1st and 10. Fake the handoff. Manning throwing over the middle and complete to Marvin Harrison. Into Houston territory, and an 18-yard hookup as Marlon McCree brings him down.
That was a nicely designed play against his own defense that time. You'll see he'll just slow, and it's his timing. He doesn't come flying at full speed across the field. See how he just settles down because he knows where the hole is, and Marvin Harrison does a good job understanding where the hole is going to be created, in that zone defense. He finds it, settle down, and give his quarterback a target to complete the pass.
And a 1st and 10 at the Houston 46. James and Rhodes split in the backfield. Handed off. It's Dominique Rhodes. Little change of pace as he sticks the helmet down and goes to the 40-yard line. Sharper and Martin combined to bring him down. A 6-yard gain.
And we just showed you the numbers on the Indianapolis Colts offense. 5 first downs. Now 6 at this point in the game. But they're going to have to begin to put some points on the board and have something to show for all their work so far in the game.
They are 3 points away from setting a new club record for most points in a season. It has been a prolific year offensively for Manning and the Colts. Last week, a different story. 2nd and 4. Manning on the toss for James. Makes a move to the outside and forced out of bounds by Marcus Coleman. A first down for Indy, 6-yard pickup.
And you might ask, why is it important for them to get some points on the board? As you see, they'll whip this ball over to Edgerrin James coming out of the backfield. But, you know, Jamie Sharper told us, he said, we have to stay close in this game. And I think the longer they stay close, I think the pressure begins to mount on the Indianapolis Colts, who are supposed to come in here and clinch a division title and win this game easily. Well, it's not going to be so easy against this Texans defense today.
Good balance on the offensive end so far, mixing up the run and the pass. Indy with a 1st and 10 at the 34 of Houston. Give it to James. And Edgerrin James able to explode through that hole and gain 9. Tarek Glenn on the left side with a good block up front.
Well, this is what Marcus Allen was asking for. Hey, give the runner the ball. He's going to work over to the right side, but watch him cut it back over to the left side behind Tarek Glenn, and that's where he finds some room to run. But he's right. Edgerrin James is starting to get a rhythm in this game, and he's starting to get it going.
And a 2nd and 1 now for Indy. Early second quarter. It's James again. And sidesteps his way to another Indianapolis first down. That's a 2-yard pickup.
Why would you not give him the ball? This is as fresh as Tony Dungy has said as James has been in the month of December in quite some time. And he's feeling it and he's fresh. You got to get him going because we know as we get into the postseason, he's going to have to be a factor in this offense. Look at the time of possession right now. Indianapolis just eating time away off the clock.
And quite a difference from a week ago when Denver controlled it 44 minutes and 58 seconds to Indianapolis' 15 minutes and 2 seconds. Handoff. James wanted a blocker and didn't have one in front of him. James spun down, a gain of 1. Jamie Sharper able to sniff that one out along the sideline.
This defense, Dom Capers said, what we want to do is show up and we want to fight. And watch Stokely, he's going to try to get a block here. Look at that. He actually does knock down Steve Foley, who tries to knife underneath. Stokely was able to pick up a block on the linebacker.
Now Dominique Rhodes is in there. James gets a breather on a 2nd and 9 for the Colts. Long drive for Indianapolis. Manning to put it in the air. Almost intercepted. Kai Lee Wong had it in his breadbasket. Marvin Harrison, the intended target. 10th play of the drive, out of the shotgun, on 3rd down. Manning forced out of the pocket. Manning looking to get rid of it and throws it away. The Houston defense applied the pressure with Steve Foley and Jay Foreman chasing down Manning.
Well, this week I talked to the Texans defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. He says, our problem is we haven't been able to get pressure on the quarterback. He said, if we can get pressure on Peyton Manning, it's going to go a long way in helping us to stay close and possibly win this football game. So they're sending the boys after Peyton, forcing him to run out of the pocket.
Mike Vanderjagt looking to tie the NFL record with 40 consecutive field goals made. This is from 39 yards away. Vanderjagt, the kick. He's got it. Mike Vanderjagt is in the record books, along with Gary Anderson from the Vikings back in 97-98. 3-0 Colts. Colts get on the board, a 3-0 lead after the field goal from Mike Vanderjagt. 39 yards, an 11-play, 54-yard drive. Took up just over 5 minutes of action. And that seems to be the theme here in Houston. They don't want the Colts to win this division in their house. Meanwhile, Indianapolis wants to make a return trip to Houston for the Super Bowl. Here on CBS, J.J. Moses on the return. Moses, some blockers in front of him, and he is spun around at the 33-yard line by Donald Strickland. 21-yard return. Texans offense is back on the field.
Well, guys, on that last possession, the Texans are doing exactly what they want to. I talked to Steve Martin, the defensive tackle. He says we want to hit Peyton every chance we get. We want to hit him, and we want to make him play faster than he wants to play. And on critical downs, guys, they've been successful. They haven't been successful all the time, but in critical downs, they've done a good job. Back upstairs.
There's no doubt, and they're putting a body on Peyton Manning as well. Even after he released the football, gave him something to think about. On 1st down, quick out, good cut. Andre Johnson, a 1st down, the first of the day for the Houston offense. He made Nick Harper miss. And a 12-yard pickup, Johnson doing the legwork. You just never know what to expect in this league. Late in the year, signing on O'Donnell. Here's Carr, throwing off his back foot, knocked up in the air, and broken up. Johnson, he took a hit. Harper and Strickland there defensively, and a little chatting afterwards. A flag down.
Oh, David Carr also takes a hit in the backfield, and there's a flag down. You see he's going to get whacked right there by Dwight Freeney, and there comes the flag.
10-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
And it is Chester Pitts called on the hold as we get the word from Ed Hockley, first flag of the day.
Well, Andre Johnson was up the field. I'm not sure if that is not pass interference, because Harper was banging Johnson all the way up the field, well beyond the 5-yard area where you can make contact with the receiver.
Chester Pitts, he has played every offensive snap in the Texans' 2 years. Started as a rookie out of San Diego State. Allowed 12 sacks last year, only 6 this season. So improvement on that offensive line. On the toss, Dominic Davis creating after the catch. And Davis slides down across the 40-yard line for an 8-yard completion.
Wow, he showed me something on that play, because he catches this ball out of the backfield, and why there are 2 defenders for the Indianapolis Colts who should have the tackle right here. Look, he makes 2 guys miss, and is able to squeeze through there and pick up additional yards. So he's clever, he's shifty, he has the power in the leg. And I tell you what, he's going to be an exceptional back, and he's going to add to a trio of offensive players who can put up some big numbers for Houston.
He was a backup at LSU, now a starter in the NFL. Here's Carr. Protection is there. Another dump off. This time Davis accelerates. A 1st down for Houston in Indianapolis territory at the 45-yard line. 13 yards on that pass play.
Well, we saw Davis catch the ball out of the backfield. He's going to do it again. But it's his ability to make players miss in the open field that makes him exceptional. You see Strickland with the whiff, and then he takes it to the next level. And in this league, in the National Football League, you have to be able to make players miss in the open field.
And the dinking and dunking is working on this drive. On a 1st and 10, Indianapolis with a 3-0 lead, 8.5 to go, second quarter. Handoff. Davis. He's got a lane. Dominic Davis out across the 25-yard line. 21-yard burst for the rookie Davis. Standings in the AFC South, Indy and Tennessee all tied, but the Colts knocked off the Titans twice, and they win the tiebreak. First down for Houston. At the Colt 23. Carr, again, that quick toss. Johnson able to break one tackle, but then brought down at the 20-yard line by Larry Triplett, the defensive lineman, getting to the outside. 3-yard gain. Call it a 2nd and 6. Houston finally accumulating some yardage on this drive. A 4-receiver look on 2nd down. Carr looks downfield. Carr out of the pocket. Tuck and run for Carr, and he veers out of bounds. It's a 1-yard scramble for David Carr.
And this is what Dom Capers talked about. You know, David Carr has missed 4 games this year. He said, but this is what he gives us that the other guys don't. That's the mobility at the quarterback position, to be able to buy more time, to allow his guys to get open. Something Dom Capers really likes about David Carr is his temperament and, you know, his psychological makeup. He is a true leader on this football team. We talked about those trio of players. They've been the guys who made it happen on this drive. David Carr, Andre Johnson, and Dominique Davis.
And they have been very good in the red zone this season. 2nd most efficient in the AFC. 19 touchdowns and 31 trips. On a 3rd down and 4. Carr on the give. Davis, can he get to the outside? Yes! First down for the Texans. 6-yard run for Dominic Davis. New set of downs for Houston to work with. Keeping you updated on what's happening around the league, in particular Tennessee, with the interest, of course, Indianapolis. Both teams at 11 and 4. And Tony Dungy is having a chat right now with Ed Hockley.
There was no challenge on the play. No challenge. First down.
Yeah, Dungy's not a guy that throws that red flag.
No, he's one of those guys. He knows the rules. He knows what he sees. He's a bright man, and he has an understanding. Look, has never challenged a call. And he doesn't want to waste timeouts, but he's very aware of what's happening on the football field and has a good, I think, perspective on whether or not, you know, the play was good or whether or not it was bad. And so that's why he's keeping that red flag tucked in his back pocket.
A 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Double tight end set. Kent and Murphy for Houston. Carr is checking off with 5:32 left in the first half. On the handoff. Davis bursting through. Touchdown, Houston.
You know, Chester Pitts had given up the sack and the hit on David Carr earlier. But let me tell you here, the fullback Norris gets a good block, and so does Chester Taylor, the left tackle. It starts there. See Bratsky, he moves Bratsky out, and then Norris, he leads it up in there. And again, you hammer away at this Colts defensive front by running the football. That's what everyone else has done, so why should Houston do anything different?
Extra point, Chris Brown, the 7th touchdown of the season for Dominic Davis, the rookie out of LSU. It's Houston in front of Indy, 7-3 in the second. The Colts defense got shredded by another rookie running back last week, Quentin Griffin from the Denver Broncos. This week, it's Dominic Davis. A touchdown to put Houston ahead, 7-3. And Chris Brown will kick it off for the Texans. Dominique Rhodes, the deep man. And Rhodes takes it in stride from the 7. Rhodes cutting to the perimeter. Here's Rhodes getting to the outside. outside, but a flag comes flying down as he is forced out at the 34-yard line by Brown. Penalty markers, 2 of them now on the play. And Antoine Peak better watch out. He just took his helmet off and got in the face of Ed Hockley, the rookie out of Cincinnati, 3rd-round pick.
Whoa.
He lost control. And his head coach, Dom Capers, came over to step in. This has been a fast-moving first half. Only 1 penalty until the 2 flags that just came down.
And both teams have come out and decided to run the ball, but Dom Capers can't be happy with the antics of Antoine
There were
Peak.
fouls by both teams on the play during the return holding by the receiving team, number 89. There was also a personal foul, unnecessary roughness by the kicking team after the play, number 98. By rule, those fouls offset at the spot of the receiving team's foul. They keep the ball at that spot, 1st down.
So the Colts will have the football when we come back, trailing 7-3. Welcome back to Reliance Stadium. Houston 7, Indianapolis 3, 5:15 to go in the first half. Peyton Manning is well aware of the chatter around the NFL. He's going to the Pro Bowl. He's thrown for over 4,000 yards for the 5th straight year, but his postseason record is 0-3, and that seems to be the focus as we get closer to the playoffs.
Well, I was there in the game in '99 against Miami. He took the team right down the field, and it was Vanderjagt who missed the field goal that would have won the game. So, you know, Peyton Manning has done a lot of wonderful things in his career.
From the 29, some trickery. Manning sets it up for Edgerrin James, a stiff arm, and James waltzes out of bounds. After a 5-yard gain, Marcus Coleman got pushed back by James. Well, for Peyton Manning, he knows the history of the game, and you make that next step into superstardom in the postseason.
Yeah, he knows that that's the next level. I mean, it's really the only territory he has yet to conquer in the National Football League. As you look at his postseason numbers, he said, but if I do win a postseason game, I'm not going to go and celebrate because I have to come back and play the next week.
On 2nd down, James is cut down by Corey Sears. 3.5-yard gain for Edgerrin James, setting up 3rd and short. Indianapolis 31-17 loss to Denver last week. And that opened some eyes around the NFL. A lot of people focused in on this week to see if they could recover.
Well, even Peyton Manning, as he sat down with us, he said, you know, I feel like we've been exposed. He said, and it's an area of the football team that we're going to have to correct. And he feels like, you know, there's times when I can do maybe more on offense. And I think that's what he's going to have to guard against. He's going to have to be more patient and not try to do too much.
Maybe it would act as a wake-up call, Manning told us, even though he didn't think the team needed one. Out of the shotgun, Manning fires, complete. And Peyton Manning connects with Troy Walters for a 1st down, a 9-yard gain, and a new set of downs to work with.
But how about Marvin Harrison? I loved his attitude because we talked to him. He said, you know, I told him, what about all these things people say your team's not physical and that you can't win the big games? He said, I don't know people say those things. He said, I didn't know. He doesn't read the paper. He doesn't listen to talk radio. He just works every day to do his job, and there's no one who's better at it right now.
Out of the shotgun, fake the inside handoff. Manning, long ball, sideline, and picked off by Marcus Coleman. Coleman with a terrific play, and he stays on his feet. Here's Coleman with room to run, looking for the angle. Across the 35, and flags come down. Face mask on Peyton Manning. Trying to get to Coleman, and everything went wrong for Indy on that pass play.
Oh, it sure did, because if this ball is thrown maybe another inch higher, Marvin Harrison, I should say, he's going to score a touchdown. See, this ball just another inch over the hand of Marcus Coleman, goes right to Reggie Wayne, I should say. But what a phenomenal athletic play by Coleman. He gets the interception, and then Peyton Manning, you know, as a quarterback, you just grab what you can get. See there? You grab what you can get. Unfortunately, it's the face mask, but he was able to make the tackle and prevent Coleman from returning that interception for a touchdown.
What a sequence here in Houston. For Manning, it is only his 10th interception. For Coleman, it's a career high, his 7th pick. And for Coleman, maybe a little redemption for him after getting beat on that touchdown last week against Tennessee.
With 17 seconds left on the clock, 4th and 10, you're not supposed to get beat deep. Drew Bennett beat Coleman last week, but he said, you know what, I immediately forgot about it. He said, National Football League, you have to have a short memory.
On a 1st and 10 for Houston at the Indianapolis 19. Handoff, Dominic Davis. And no hole develops. Rob Morris there to help wrap him up. It's a 3-yard gain as we approach 3 minutes to go in the first half.
And I really felt the momentum had shifted on the previous drive by the Houston Texans on that 21-yard run by Dominic Davis. And they really ran downhill, very powerful, asserting their aggression like what Dom Capers wants to see from this offense. And Moran Norris, the fullback, he had a kick-out block on David Macklin. It was a deep leader and really, I think, changed the tempo of this ball game.
On a 2nd and 7 for Houston. Movement and flags. Dwight Freeney, I have not even called his name yet today.
Offense number 69, 5-yard penalty, it's 2nd down.
And Chester Pitts is called on the penalty.
Well, let's take a look at that play. Here's Norris, and he's going to come out. Macklin is out there, but it's going to be a decleater. But watch the lineman come off the ball. Now watch this decleater. Look at this hit on Macklin right there. And that clears the way for Davis to get to the 2nd level where he's able to make players miss. And that, I think, set the tempo and changed, I think, the physical tone of this football game in favor of Houston.
On 2nd and 12. Davis again. And Davis getting across the 20-yard line. Dominic Davis scored that touchdown earlier. He told us his grandmother's birthday today. Leona Williams. And we didn't have the guts to ask how old.
Congratulations and happy birthday.
Woman never has to tell her age.
That's right. I'm not asking.
We backed off. We're journalists, but we're also pretty bright. You don't go there. Minutes to go, first half here in Houston. Ian Eagle, Solomon Wilcots. Tony Dungy told us how disappointed he was last year. The way Indianapolis ended the season against Jacksonville, they beat them but did not look sharp. And then he felt it carried over into the loss to the Jets in the postseason.
Yeah, and they have a chance to clinch a division title. They lost last week to Denver, and right now they're on the ropes here in Houston because the Houston Texans are beginning to pound at that defense of Tony Dungy, and they're starting to run the ball, something he does not want to see reoccur from what happened last week.
On a 3rd and 9 now for Houston, already in front 7-3. Here's Carr, roll up, looking for it all. He's got it! Andre Johnson, touchdown Texans. And David Carr got walloped.
Well, he came through for his quarterback, David Carr. You better make this catch. Carr's going to stand in the pocket and take a hit.
He just said, did he catch it? He didn't know.
He didn't know. He never saw it. Look, he takes the hit for Rob Morris. He's not going to live to tell the tale, but he's working against Macklin, who gets turned around. And look at the positioning. He gets both feet in bounds. Macklin cannot make a play on the ball before Johnson can haul it in.
They may take a look at this one. This is not a challenge in the hands of coaches, but rather upstairs under 2 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. Taken out of the hands of Tony Dungy.
Well, take a look. And David Carr shows some courage. This is what his teammates like about him, Ian. He'll stand in the pocket to deliver a very accurate pass there. Okay, the right foot's in. Whoa, I don't know. The left one, it's very difficult to tell, but it looked like it may be on the line. See the right foot's there? He wasn't able to drag that left foot, and it's touching the white line. And that's a rookie receiver. And I like Andre Johnson. It was a delight talking to him. But, you know, the veteran guys have a presence of mind to drag that 2nd foot. He wasn't able to drag it, tried to put it down before he went out of bounds. And I don't know. I think the toes of that left foot may be on the line. Okay, there's your right foot. See, he doesn't drag that left foot. Boom. See, he plants it there. I think it's clear that it's on the line. I don't know how clear, but let's get a better look right here. See, I don't see any green between his toes and that white chalk.
And that was 3rd down.
Yeah, it was 3rd down. They may take this one off the board.
Now David Carr hoping that Johnson was able to drag that foot. He didn't know if Johnson caught it. Obviously, the 70,000 people screaming didn't give him the clear indication that Johnson had brought it in after he took that hit from Rob Morris.
And you see how Johnson came up standing up. You're going to have to drag that left foot, and you're going to fall down in the corner of the end zone. You're going to get a little dirty, but that's what you have to do, I think, in order to secure that catch and make sure you get both feet in bounds.
We asked Andre Johnson about what he needs to work on. He said his route running, a lot of cone running.
Yeah.
He's got to work through that kind of drill to get to that next level as a receiver. There's a lot of God-given ability.
And what that will help him do by doing the cone drills is to stay low through his routes. He'll come out of the breaks faster. He'll come out of his cuts with a better positioning to be able to accelerate and close on the football. That's what receivers do when they're working those cone drills.
He wears number 80 for his idol, Jerry Rice, and we asked him about watching film early this season. He said, no, I was just watching myself. Then I started picking up some tips. I watched some Marvin Harrison use the route that he had used in a game in practice, and it worked.
Yeah, he's going to school every week.
The decision.
After review, the receiver's second foot lands on the white, making it an incomplete pass. Therefore, it's 4th down and 9 on the 18-yard line. 4th down.
Well, Solomon, as you said, you did not see green in between the toes and the sideline of the end zone for Andre Johnson. Yeah, it's nullified.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Andre Johnson because he made a great play, and so did David Carr, who took a shot. And, you know, the fans here in Houston don't want to hear it, but that's what you're looking for. If you're the officials, you have to be able to see some green between the toes of the offensive player and that white line. Johnson, he did make a play, but if he drags that left foot, he'll get it in. But see, try to make the stick. You know, the heel's down, but see, the toes are on the white line, clearly out of bounds.
This will be a 36-yard field goal attempt as Houston tries to extend their lead. Chris Brown, the kicker, Chad Stanley to hold it. From 36 yards away, Brown. It's good. Texans with a 10-3 advantage over Indianapolis. It could have been more, but Johnson unable to get the foot inbound. Now, David Carr has been so proud of this young football team. Felt like they've been fighting every week. Nobody leaves it out in the parking lot here at Reliant Stadium. And he and Mark Brunell were talking recently, and they were talking about next year. The last place team in the division next year in the AFC South could have 9 wins. At least that was part of the fodder they were discussing.
I think this is a very competitive AFC South division. It's only going to get better next year. We talked to Tony Dungy about it. See, when you look at the coaches and Jack Del Rio, and you talk about Tony Dungy, and you're talking about Dom Capers and the other guys, they have a really good nucleus of really young quarterbacks, very good coaches, and good personnel groups. So you know this division is going to be very competitive in years to come.
Jeff Fisher continues to do an incredible job with that Titans team as Brown kicks it off to Rhodes. And Dominique Rhodes is stood up at the 20-yard line by Jason Bell. So a 17-yard return, a minute 42 left to play in this first half. We know about the quick strike capabilities of Peyton Manning. We'll see if Tom Moore lets them loose over the final minute 42.
Well, on the last possession, actually he had Reggie Wayne up the sideline, who I think had a step on Marcus Coleman. I thought the ball was underthrown just a little bit by Peyton Manning. That's what gave way to the interception by Coleman. So they had the opportunity for big plays. He's going to have more, then he's going to have to connect on them.
On first down, Indianapolis trailing 10-3, trying to secure the AFC South title and the number 3 seed. Here's Manning, steps up, guns, and broken up. Troy Walters in a matchup with Jason Simmons, a flag down. Late flag at that.
It is a very late flag, and I don't know that he was in a good position to tell if it was passing.
Holding defense number 30. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, Simmons not protesting too much. Let's watch. Number 30, Simmons working in the slot against Walters. See, there's the hand. That's the hold right there that gives him the advantage. And You know, they say the hand is quicker than the eye. Well, not for the officials because they saw it. It's not too quick for our cameras either because we saw it as well.
And give credit to our camera people here on this crew for capturing that Andre Johnson attempt along the sideline. Excellent camera work. Minute 35 to go. First half. On the dump off, Edgerrin James across the 30-yard line, and he picks up 7. Jay Foreman combining with Wong to make the stop. 1:24, the clock is moving.
Well, this is that point in the game where they will go with the no huddle and that 2-minute warning, and this Colts offense has to get going, but give credit to Houston playing really good defense.
On 2nd and 3. Quick throw to Walters, and a first down for Indianapolis. Out across the 40-yard line, they pick up 8 yards, and a timeout stops the clock with 1:03 left to go in the first half. Indy has 2 timeouts remaining. First down, Indianapolis trying to get a rhythm here with 1:03 left to go. Second quarter, trailing 10-3. Manning, pump fake, and a throw. Walters sidestepping, unable to get out of bounds at the 45. Derek Vaughn made sure of it. 5-yard gain.
Costly mistake by Walters because he could have gotten out of bounds, tried to throw one more move, and then the tackle was made, preventing him from getting out of bounds and stopping the clock.
And they're losing time here. 2nd and 5. Manning, a toss. Pollard, he goes out of bounds. Did he have the first down, though?
Yes, he did.
But he lost it.
He gave it back because it was more important that he get out of bounds. It's 3rd down, so he really has 2 more downs. I think it was more important to try to save time there as opposed to maybe gaining 3 more yards.
Now a 3rd and 2. You'd like to see him do both in a perfect world. And they go to the running play. Edgerrin James comes up shy. A 1-yard gain, and now the whole drive is out of whack with 27 seconds left.
And the time is ticking. They're going to call a timeout, but
Indianapolis has 1 timeout remaining. There will be 27 seconds to work with here in the second quarter.
Peyton Manning was talking to Marcus Pollard saying, should have went ahead and got the first down. We could have used the timeout. Allow you to pick up the first down.
Well, we've seen Houston take a 10-3 lead in this first half, and we've also seen Houston make some plays defensively. A stuff on Edgerrin James on 4th down. Tough running by Dominic Davis for the touchdown. And Marcus Coleman with a lunging interception for Houston. David Carr to Andre Johnson. Touchdown was nullified. The field goal from Brown. And that is your 10-3 score. Decision was made on a 4th and 1. Tony Dungy says, punt it. Take no chances. Hunter Smith in. J.J. Moses, the deep man. And Moses, returnable kick from the 9. Here's Moses. And he is engulfed shy of the 20 by Anthony Floyd. 16 seconds remain in the first half. Now, this is not what Indianapolis envisioned coming to Houston. Peyton Manning wore his cowboy hat on the plane, got off the plane, hoping that it would give the team some good vibes for maybe a return trip a month from now to the Super Bowl.
Plays over,
And
man.
Carr takes a knee to end this first half. The Houston Texans, they may have something to say about who wins this AFC South title. Dom Capers and the Texans with a 10-3 lead on Tony Dungy and the Indianapolis Colts. Some smart football from Houston in this first half as we go downstairs to Marcus Allen.
Thanks, Ryan. Coach Dungy, you guys got a break on that touchdown call that was reversed. Offensively, you guys have moved the ball, but you haven't cashed in. What is the key? Maintaining your patience and not panicking?
Yeah, we have to be poised. We got off to a good start, had some good field position, didn't take advantage of it. Now they've got the lead. We got to be poised in the second half, play a little bit better defense, see if we can get the ball away from them.
All right, Coach. Good luck second half. Thanks a lot. Back upstairs, Ryan.
All right, Marcus, thank you. Thank you, Coach. The number 3 seed in the AFC on the line and a home game in the first round. Potential upset in the making here at Reliance Stadium. 10-3 Texans on top of the Colts. We welcome you back. Ian Eagle along with Solomon Wilcots. Obviously, Indianapolis, huge game for them considering what's down the road. Postseason, they're going either way, either as a 3 seed, maybe a 5 seed, maybe a 6 seed. Do you buy into the theory that you've got to be playing well in December for it to carry over?
I think it holds true because the National Football League is really about momentum. And Bill Parcells, he talks about the playoffs as being a tournament. When you go into a tournament, you better be ready to play. And it's clear that the Indianapolis Colts are not playing as well right now as they had been earlier in the year. They want to feel better about themselves, according to Tony Dungy, as they head into the postseason.
This is the wrong time for a slump for Indianapolis. Humiliating loss last week on national TV against Denver, and then this first half against Houston, obviously leaving something to be desired. Moments ago, Dom Capers with our own Marcus Allen.
Coach Capers, you guys are playing very solid defense. You're not making any mistakes in offense. Is that the formula you have to take here in the second half?
We know this offense is a very explosive offense. We've done a good job of not giving them a big play the first half. Our offense has been able to convert a turnover into some points. We've got to go back out this second half and do the same thing.
All right, Coach, good luck. Thank you. Good to see you.
So Dom Capers, second year as the head coach of this Texans team. They went 4-12 last year in their inaugural season, 5-10 right now. And some tight losses here at home. 7 home games, 6 have been decided in the closing minutes, 2 on the final play of the game. Vanderjagt, the kickoff. And the return man, Moran Norris. Along the sideline, and Norris gets some extra yardage as Ricky Williams forced him out of bounds. A 19-yard return. The leaders for Houston in that first half got off to a very slow start offensively. David Carr, 6 of 10. In the running game, though, Dominic Davis, some electrifying plays from scrimmage. And Davis, also the leading receiver.
He's the guy that's getting it done. We told you he can catch it out of the backfield, but boy, can he run.
Double tight end set to open up this third quarter of play. And a 1st and 10 from the Texans 37. It's Davis again through the gut. Davis has just cracked 1,000 yards in his rookie season from LSU. Dominic Davis didn't start until the Texans' 6th game of the season, and now he has gone over 1,000.
Well, it's a heck of an accomplishment by Dominic Davis. A lot of people said he was too small coming out of college, but all he's done is prove him wrong because he has helped out this offense and helped his football team tremendously.
And a 1st down for Houston at the 49 of Indianapolis. Carr to throw, fires, incomplete. Corey Bradford one-on-one with Nick Harper, and the fans wanted a penalty.
Well, I thought Bradford could have made a better adjustment on this ball. Well thrown by David Carr. It's a heater. Look at the line drive now. He's got to come back to the ball. Settle in like what we saw with Marvin Harrison. You settle in the area where you know the ball's going to come. Then you move back to the football. Don't allow it to go behind you and allow Nick Harper to make a play.
On 2nd and 10. First minute of play in the 3rd quarter. 3 receivers set. Davis by himself in the backfield. Carr on the throw to Davis. After the catch, Davis is tripped up. He picks up 4.5 yards. Anthony Floyd making the stop.
Well, the Texans are doing what you want from your football team. They're coming out, setting the tone here in the second half, and they've done it by getting the ball to Dominic Davis, catching the ball out of the backfield and running behind the offensive line. They're making the plays that they need to make. Dom Capers said, hey, if we can get another turnover like we did in the first half, we know turnovers are the great equalizer, and that's why they lead on the scoreboard.
Over 100 yards of total offense for Dominic Davis.
I got you.
And a 3rd and 6 now for Houston. Davis shifting in the backfield. Here's Carr, steps up, guns, complete, Andre Johnson. Big gainer as they convert the 3rd down, 18 yards. Good move by Johnson up the field.
And what a whip of an arm David Carr has. Watch this ball come out of his hand. It's a lively throw. It's accurate, right on the money. as Johnson comes across the formation. Now, check out Dwight Freeney. We know that he can get sacks, double-digit sacks this year, but look at him getting doubled right here by Chester Pitts and Dominic Davis. You know, this is something they haven't had to do a lot of. They haven't had to chip with the running back because Pitts has been doing such a good job blocking in one-on-one.
On first down, it's Davis, and runs into a wall of white jerseys. No gain on the play. We told you about Dominic Davis going over 1,000 yards. Andre Johnson beginning to close in on 1,000 yards as well, and they would become the first rookie tandem to crack 1,000 yards in the same season in NFL history.
Is this franchise headed in the right direction?
I think so.
I mean, there you are. Charlie Casserly, the general manager of this football team, along with their head coach and then their owner, Bob McNair, Dom Capers, they're just doing such a wonderful job at building, I think, a really good foundation for a good football team.
On second down, another toss from Carr to Johnson. 11 yards and a new set of downs for the Texans to work with. They are moving the football first possession of this second half.
And they're moving it with 6 offensive linemen on the field. Short a tight end, they're playing 6 offensive linemen, so they have the protection to get the ball out to their weapons, Johnson and Dominic Davis, but they're also are able to run the ball effectively. That's why you're seeing balance on this possession.
And a 1st and 10 from the Colts 16-yard line. Houston already with a 10-3 lead. Give is to Davis, trying to emerge through a hole, and Davis turns it into something. It could have been no gain. Instead, it's a 3-yard pickup. Josh Williams, the stop. Well, we talk about the Rookie of the Year candidates around the NFL. You're seeing 2 of them on display right now.
Yeah, Anquan Bolden will be the guy to win it, you know, setting a rookie record for receptions in a single season. But to have Dominic Davis and Andre Johnson on that board, it tells you that this franchise is doing a lot of things right when it comes to acquiring the right kind of players.
Those numbers entering action today through 15 games for those individual rookies. 2nd and 7. Give is to Davis. Stutter step move, and Davis breaks through. Touchdown, Texans. His 2nd of the day.
There's the talent we were talking about, because you can only block so many guys, whether you have 5 offensive linemen, 6 offensive linemen, like what Houston has on this play, but they get the push up front, and they're just hammering away at this Indianapolis Colts defense, but watch him make people miss there on the 2nd level. Idris Bashir can't get him, neither can the diving linebacker, and he waltzes right in for the touchdown to give his team a tremendous lead in this ball game and a tremendous psychological advantage over the Indianapolis Colts.
13 carries, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns for Davis. Fred Weary injured on the play, and the Houston medical staff has come out onto the field before the extra point.
You know, he's a short guy. He's just one of those sawed-off guys. You talk about him being small, but look at the leg drive. Powerful leg, but then watch the footwork. You see the stutter step, and he leaves a guy, Chad Brasky, in his tracks. There's another guy go diving away, and then he's able to break tackles on the 2nd level. But his shifty ability, much like what they saw in Quentin Griffin last week. But, boy, this guy has the power to go along with those stutter step moves.
Davis told us his entire life he's been told he's too small. You're just a special teams guy. He's been hearing it forever, and it has motivated him.
That was a beautiful run by Dominic Davis.
3rd time this season he has posted multiple touchdowns in the same game. And he is also inching very close to his 5th 100-yard rushing day. Weary helped off the field. Chris Brown, the extra point for Houston. And the Texans send an early 3rd quarter message to the Indianapolis Colts. It's 17-3 Houston. A 4th round pick out of LSU. Not expected to be a difference maker, but Dominic Davis is making a difference here today. His 2nd touchdown run against the playoff-bound Indianapolis Colts. And now Tom Moore and Peyton Manning huddle up Their offense will touch it for the first time in this third quarter.
And this is where Peyton has to be careful, because he told us, I feel like I have to go out and make more plays. And with the scoreboard 17-3, well, yeah, he's going to have to make a play, but still has to be careful with the football.
Dominique Rhodes after the kick by Brown. And Rhodes has nowhere to go once he hit the 26. Jason Simmons makes the special teams play. We'll come back. More third quarter action in a moment. Back in Houston, let's check in with a man that knows a little bit something about the running game, Marcus Allen.
Thanks, Ian. This is the one aspect of the game that I love, the running game, because it is the one aspect that makes your opponent throw up the white flag. It destroys who you are. It destroys your will. That's what the running game does. And Dominic Davis at this point, guys, he's just being intuitive. He's just being instinctive. He's doing his thing, guys.
On first down, Manning hooks up with Edgerrin James for a 9-yard gain. And you're right. It can really knock your spirits down defensively when you cannot stop the run, lining up man for man against the other team.
And Marcus has made an excellent point. Look at the defensive players for the Indianapolis Colts, and they are, in their eyes, I see bewilderment, and they're not thinking that this could have happened. It happened last week. Last week was a fluke. Well, guess what, guys? It's happening again, playing the Houston Texans.
Colts have had more opportunities today compared to last week as James carries for 3 and a first down for Indianapolis. Corey Sears making the stop for Houston. Well, we do know that it's in there. The big play capability is in there for the guys wearing the white jerseys. We just have not seen it over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and you know they can make the plays. And Marvin Harrison, Peyton Manning, Edgerrin James, and these are the guys. But, you know, they dig such a deep hole, and now they have to fight and claw their way back. They're in that known situation where they have to throw the football.
First and 10 from the 39. And Manning will put it in the air. Manning throwing it. Intercepted by Coleman. It would have been number 2 on the day with nobody in front of it.
Yeah, and that's what happens. When you get into that known situation, everyone in the stadium know you have to step back and throw the football. But they're giving so many exotic looks that Peyton Manning can't find the open guy. Where he thinks he has a guy, look, there are more Houston Texans defenders than there are white jersey, and that's when you have the opportunity to make a crucial mistake and throw an interception. Look at the pressure coming in the face of Peyton Manning.
Steve Martin among those there applying that pressure. Now 2nd and 10. Back to the ground game. James stops, cuts it back, a flag down. James plunging ahead as he picks up 1. And it looks like a hold against Indianapolis.
Yeah, Kylie Wong was the guy who got the penetration and really destroyed the run play. And they're trying to block him, but they can't unless they hold on to him. It's going to be on Marcus Pollard, the tight end, who had no chance of blocking Kylie Wong.
Indianapolis came in averaging less than 6 penalties per game. They've only been charged with 1 here today.
Offense number 81, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
And as you said, Solomon, the tight end Marcus Pollard disagreeing after his confrontation with Kylie Wong.
Yeah, here's Wong. He's going to come right up the field, and that's where the holding takes place. See, look, he'll make this ball. See right there? He's going to make the tackle if Pollard doesn't hold on to him. And he makes the ball bounce. Edgerrin James has to take it to the sideline, but there's no room to run because Kylie Wong just destroyed the run play.
And they back it up to the 29 and a 2nd and 20 now for Indianapolis. A win here, and they get the number 3 seed. A loss, they could be 5 or 6 in the AFC. Manning out of the shotgun, throwing, incomplete, looking for Marvin Harrison.
I think it was a bad choice that time by Peyton Manning. Harrison came across the middle of the field, but he had Marcus Pollard is over to the right, and he's wide open. See, Kylie Wong gets an excellent drop, gets in the face of Harrison. And there was a small window to complete that pass, but he had Pollard open to the outside.
9:02 remaining in the 3rd. 3rd and 20. Crowd is charged up here at Reliance Stadium. On 3rd down, Manning operating out of the gun. Safety valve is Edgerrin James. And James has no chance to get anywhere close to the marker. Derek Vaughn, Kylie Wong, Jay Foreman, blue jerseys surrounding James after he made the catch.
It is the exotic look from the defensive front that's really causing doubt and hesitation in the mind of Peyton Manning. They showed the blitz that time, Dom Capers' defense, but they only brought 3 pass rushers and dropped 8 in coverage, and there was nowhere to go with the football but dump it off to Edgerrin James, who could not pick up the first down.
Hunter Smith, his 4th punt of the day. J.J. Moses, long return this year is 40 yards. And Moses from the 19. Moses, space opens up, but a flag comes down. 3 of them, in fact, as Moses takes it to the 31. Jim Nelson making the play in coverage. 44-yard punt, a 12-yard return for the first-year pro Moses from Iowa State.
During the return, illegal block in the back by the receiving team number 81. 10-yard penalty. Houston keeps the ball. First down.
Penalty against the Texans. We'll come back. Third quarter action continues after these words. 8:10 to go in the third quarter. Regular season finale here in Houston. Carr throwing on first down to Corey Bradford. And that's good for 12 yards, a first down for Houston. Well, Jim, look at the AFC playoff picture. Indianapolis could still win this division if Tampa Bay comes back and knocks off Tennessee. We'll keep you posted throughout the day. Dominic Davis gets the call. And a 1-yard gain. Larry Triplett making the stop. Well, the rookies have been outstanding, Solomon.
Well, they have. They've contributed, and there's a trio of young players, but Dominic Davis as well as Andre Johnson are the guys who are the weapons for their quarterback, David Carr. The most prolific tandem at receiver and running back, maybe in the history of the National Football League, as both are approaching 1,000 yards on the season. It's never been done before. Davis is already there, and Johnson soon to be there with 30 more yards receiving.
And everybody on this team was well aware of that fact when we sat down and chatted with him. Davis able to make one man miss and then driven ahead as Nelson and Morris collaborate to bring him down. It turns out to be a loss of 1 for Davis off the feed.
Yeah, you get the sense that the Colts are not quite aware that Davis is a weapon and the focal point of this offense because they're not accounting for him. Yeah, they get over, but look, they come over late. There's Thornton, and then there's only one guy there. He's constantly made the first guy miss every time they've arrived to try to make the tackle, and that's why he's so exceptional.
Call it a 3rd and 10. With the Texans in front, 17-3. We approach 6 minutes to go on the third. Carr straight back. Carr gets rid of it on a crossing route. Andre Johnson. And tackled at the 35. That's 6 more yards for Johnson through the air. Freeney and Rager applying some heat.
Well, they like to run some games and stunts up front. Watch him do the up and under by Dwight Freeney. See, he comes underneath Chad Brasky. That creates a hole or a lane for Freeney to come through and get the hit on David Carr.
Freeney, the first Colt defensive player to go to the Pro Bowl since Dwayne Bickett in 1987. And Chad Stanley, the punt. Troy Walters lets it bounce, and it makes its way towards the sideline at around the 33-yard line. That's where the Colts will take over after the 28-yard punt. Indianapolis, with 5:32 to go in the third quarter, takes over a 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line. Peyton Manning. Fake the handoff. Manning looking. Manning has the time. Flag down as he dumps it off for Edgerrin James. And this one is probably coming back. Maybe Ryan Deem, the right tackle, against Corey Sears. It was a 9-yard gain. We'll see who they get the call
Illegal
on.
hands to the face. Offense number 71. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And it is Deem in his 3rd year out of Northern Illinois.
Really bad mistake because now it's going to put that offense in a hole where they want to get off to some with good momentum into a good start. That's just going to really put them in a real big hole to try to pick up a first down. 1st and 20, in fact.
Solomon, Indianapolis comes in tied for 2nd in average points per game with St. Louis, 28.5 per game behind Kansas City. But they have been held in check, as the numbers indicate. on the scoreboard. Here's James. Open running room for Edgerrin James, and tripped up before he hit midfield. Steve Martin. 26-yard gain, and it gives Indianapolis some room to work with.
Well, we said they have the weapons. They're well-known weapons on this side of the ball. And look, he'll hit it here, but watch him cut it back. See, once he turns it up, and you see Rick DeMulling, he's out in front. Cuts it back up the middle of the field, then working it against the grain as he reaches the second level.
17 carries, 95 yards for James in a 1st and 10. Back to the ground game. Dominique Rhodes this time, and he takes it into Houston territory, diving forward before Foley makes the play, and a 4.5-yard gain.
Well, I think it's a good job. I think they're doing the right thing. They're still running the ball. Obviously very effective running the ball with Edgerrin James. 17 carries, 95 yards on the day. All it's going to do is allow Peyton Manning to work that play-action game. So if these safeties try to bite up and help out against the run, they can really give up the big play.
On 2nd and 5, Rhodes remains in the backfield, and he gets the call. Rhodes on that sweep, nowhere to go. A 1-yard game. Jeremy Selecta and Jamie Sharper combining to bring him down.
And what I don't like about those last 2 run plays, and as you see here, they're trying to run wide. See, they're trying to get way out on the perimeter, and this defense of Dom Capers, well, they're just too fast. The linebackers can all run to the football. Kylie Wong, Jay Foreman, Sharper, and Steve Foley, they're too fast to try to run around them. I think you have to do a better job of pressing the line of scrimmage and then bouncing it outside.
Now a 3rd down play. This could be Marcus Pollard territory. Manning looking. Manning to Pollard, and a 1st down inside the 40. 7 yards and a new set of downs for Indianapolis to work with. 3 weeks ago, Neil O'Donnell was throwing snowballs in his backyard in New Jersey. Now throwing touchdowns. Edgerrin James able to break into the secondary for a 12-yard pickup and a 1st down for the Colts.
Well, how about the Indianapolis Colts using the running game themselves? Edgerrin James really does have the hot hand for this football team. He's able to get the ball in those tight spaces and create positive gains for this offense, and he's the guy that's really getting it done. We saw Dominic Davis get it done for his team. Now it's Edgerrin James' turn.
And he has cracked 100 yards on the day with 2:20 to go in the 3rd. Colts desperately need points. Manning, play action, and he'll throw it to the outlet. James is tackled right away. Derek Vaughn has stepped in and done a solid job after the injury to DeMarcus Fagans, a flag down. Vaughn, in his 3rd year from Southwest Texas State, signed as a free agent, a kickoff specialist in the past for Atlanta. And Hockley.
Pass interference offense, number 86. Blocking downfield. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
And that's a killer. Troy Walters called on the pass interference.
Yeah, Walters thinking it's a run play. Actually, this is Marvin Harrison. Look, he's not running a route, that's for sure. And he thinks it's a run play. And so did Troy Walters. And there's Peyton Manning. He's talking to his receivers. What's going on, guys? Here's what I called at the line of scrimmage. Now, either they didn't get the call because he had 2 wide receivers who were blocking on that play.
Hockley said 86. Not sure who the mistake was on as Rhodes is in there. Turns it upfield, and Rhodes spilled out at the 30-yard line. Kylie Wong the tackle. That's a 6-yard pickup. And Indianapolis has been effective on the ground on this drive. Injury on the field. Corey Sears on his back. Sears, the big 300-pounder. And will step aside in the 3rd quarter. 17-3 lead on Indianapolis. Corey Sears, they helped him to the sideline. And now Indy faces a 2nd and 14. Manning throws. Open man is Brandon Stokely. And Stokely picks up 7 yards through the air. They are short of a 1st down.
But they're just using the option route. Most of their plays on this possession has been run plays. 5 runs, 2 passes, but now Peyton Manning seems to want to take control as they get into the red zone. But be careful, they still will slip in that draw play.
3rd and 7. Out of the gun. Manning fires. First down. Brandon Stokely inside the 15-yard line. It covers 10 yards through the air.
So Manning's starting to heat it up. He's on the same page with Brandon Stokely. He just turns it up in front of the linebacker. And all he does is go beyond the first down marker, turn it up. And the ball comes out of the hand of Peyton Manning right to Brandon Stokely.
He's battled through injuries this year. Stokely, his 5th catch of the day, 39 yards. Leading receiver so far for the Colts. 40 seconds left in the third. From the 13-yard line, Peyton Manning. Handoff, Edgerrin James. That hole closed quickly, but he did get through for a 5-yard gain. Vaughn and Martin collaborate to bring him down.
And boy, is he running hard. They said he was fresh, but he gave a lick to Steve Martin as he approached the hole. They're going to run this one off the right side, but watch how he turns it up, and watch how he finishes off the run. See, he finishes really strong, able to get the extra yards after contact.
10th play of the drive. Final seconds, third quarter. Manning gives it to James. James cutting it back. And he picks up a yard, maybe 2. Marcus Coleman stops him. Final play of the third. The Houston Texans trying to finish up the season at 6-10, a 2-game improvement from last year. Start of the fourth quarter here in Houston. If you look at the game stats, other than the yellow area, it's actually been a good day for Indianapolis. The problem is the yellow area is the one that counts.
That's the one that counts. They want to reverse that number on the scoreboard. They'd give away everything else.
Ian Eagle, Solomon Wilcots, Marcus Allen, our entire CBS crew. First play of the fourth, 17-3 Houston, and a critical 3rd and 3 from the 6 for Indianapolis. James in the backfield. Manning checking off. Handoff. James up the middle, untouched. Touchdown, Indianapolis.
And Peyton Manning told us, he said, we get in the red zone, the Houston Texans want to make a wall. 8 guys on the line of scrimmage preventing you from throwing the ball. He said, I will not be afraid to check to a draw play down in the red zone. That's exactly what he did on that play by giving the ball to Edgerrin James. See, he has a wall of defenders, so he goes with the run play, and look, he goes into the end zone untouched.
Extra point, Mike Vanderjagt. Good blocking from Saturday and Pico up front. And the Colts have gotten them back into the game early in the fourth. 17-10, Houston leading the Indianapolis Colts. 14:57 to go in the fourth quarter. An 11-play, 67-yard drive. Edgerrin James now has 120 yards on the ground and a touchdown. J.J. Moses on the return from the 7. And Moses unable to spin his way out of trouble as he is driven back at the 25-yard line. 18-yard return. Let's go back downstairs. Bring in Marcus Allen.
Well, thanks, Ian. Running backs, they want the ball. Great backs get better as the game goes on. Edgerrin James and obviously Dominic Davis are doing a great job. They want the ball. I had a conversation with Ed, and I said, Ed, running backs have to be the man on the field. And I think he's feeling it right now, guys.
His 6th 100-yard day of the season. Edgerrin James also closing in on a season high at 126 yards against Atlanta. Fred Weary, who was injured earlier, is back in there at right guard for Houston. Texans still have the lead, 17-10. On the give, Dominic Davis. No gain on the play. Nick Harper makes the stop.
Getting it done with some really good football players. They're not great, but they are good.
2nd and 10. Over the middle, and Billy Miller getting involved, the tight end, who was a big part of this offense last year. And he picks up 7 yards on that throw over the middle. Early stages, fourth quarter. Houston 17, Indianapolis 10. The Texans now facing a 3rd and 2. Give to Davis. And the Colts stop him at the line of scrimmage. Raheem Brock, the first man there. for Indianapolis.
And it is the Colts defense that stand up and make a play for Tony Dungy. Exactly what they needed. You have to get this Colts offense back on the football field while they're hot, while they're clicking, while they have some momentum. So a 3 and out, I think it was pivotal for this defense to go 3 and out and get the ball back for their offense.
Chad Stanley, the punt. Troy Walters, the return man from the 17. Walters cutting it back. Here's Walters through a hole, breaking a tackle, and Walters spun down out across the 40-yard line. 24-yard return like a jitterbug. Troy Walters creates 17-10 Houston. Back here in Houston, 17-10, the Texans lead it, and there has been some consistency here at Reliant Stadium. Last 6 games, outcome has been decided in the final minute. The Texans 3-3 in those games, and we might be headed in that direction once again. Manning on the give. Edgerrin James wearing down this Texas defense, and a 3-yard gain as Jay Foreman. 2nd and 7 for the Colts. James 123 yards rushing on 22 carries. Manning throwing wide open Reggie Wayne. And a first down for Indianapolis in Houston territory at the 46.
So much of what Indianapolis likes to do on offense really has a lot to do with rhythm and timing and just having a better feel. And right now they're clicking. Manning's getting the ball out of his hands. He's finding receivers like Reggie Wayne open. And when they're not throwing the ball, they're able to get some yards running the ball with Edgerrin James.
Marvin Harrison has been held to just 1 catch today for Indianapolis. Here's Manning throwing and looking for Wayne. Marcus Coleman came over the back. Penalty flags.
Oh, he's going to call this for going over the back. I'd like to see a better look at it because
Pass interference, defense number 30. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul, first down.
Yeah, because Coleman, I thought he timed it up perfectly as he came in with the right arm over the shoulder. And pass interference doesn't mean you're touching, just means you really impede his ability to catch the ball. And I don't know that he held Reggie Wayne when he was trying to make that catch. He just came over the shoulder with his right hand and knocked the ball down. That's legal.
Well, Ed Hockley said number 30, and Jason Simmons looked around with, huh? It was Coleman in on coverage. Here's Manning. Handoff. James, 1 stiff arm. Edgerrin James. Sometimes it looks like he's going in slow motion, yet he picks up 9 yards.
He appeared to be in the clutches of the defender, but then he disappeared. What a run, and how shifty is he, and just such a great field, great sense of presence while carrying the football.
A season high now for James, 132 yards. 2nd and 1 for the Colts. It's James again. First down, and he loses it. James coughing up the football. Houston's got it at the 25. Corey Sears on the recovery. James had the first down for Indianapolis, but fumbles.
Well, the defender just comes right up into the hole, and watch him shoot the gap. He just comes right up. It's Eric Brown, I believe, who comes up from that safety position, and before Edgerrin James can see him, well, contact is made. And see that just a quick explosion. Brown puts his helmet on the football, dislodges the ball from Edgerrin James, and causes the fumble.
2nd forced fumble for the hard-hitting strong safety Eric Brown. Sears recovers it. 2nd turnover for Indianapolis. Peyton Manning intercepted earlier. Here's Carr. Incomplete. Rob Morris had an opportunity.
Yeah, it was almost completed, but to Rob Morris, he broke on the ball and had his hands on it. Coming from that middle linebacker position, watch his drop, reading the eyes of Carr, just right off the fingertips of the middle linebacker, Rob Morris.
Carr had completed his last 7 attempts in a row until that one to Billy Miller was broken up. Rob Morris has looked much more comfortable this year, playing middle linebacker in his 4th year from Brigham Young. And a 2nd and 10 now for Houston. Under 11 minutes to go on the 4th. Handoff. Dominic Davis. And Davis unable to shed tacklers as he does pick up 3.5, 4 yards on 2nd down. Indianapolis was in business, moving the ball, beginning to plant that seed of doubt in the minds of the Texans defenders. Until that James fumble, 36. Carr slings it. Incomplete. Dominic Davis, intended receiver.
Big stop once again for the Indianapolis Colts defense. Dom Capers told Marcus Allen at halftime, hey, we need the turnovers. We have to come away with the football. Well, they got it on the fumble recovery after Edgerrin James put the ball on the ground, but they were not able to convert. Now, it was a good job in stopping that Colts offense who was on the move, but now they're going to have to give the ball right back to him.
Stanley punting for Houston. Troy Walters the return man, and a flag comes down. Some movement.
False start offense, number 48. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's Brian Pittman, the snapper, called on the false start. 6th penalty against Dom Capers' team here today.
And he told us yesterday when we talked to Dom Capers, hey, Ed, we have to play hard. His team has done. They said we have to play smart. And those are the type of football players that Dom Capers want on his football team. That time, it was not a smart football play.
Capers and the Texans lead by 7. Stanley on the punt. High kick. Returnable for Walters. Makes the catch. Walters trying to circle. Looking for blockers. Walters turning it upfield. And spun down. Some pushing and shoving afterwards. A 3-yard return. Edgerrin James' fumble did not cost the Colts on the board. The Indianapolis Colts 6-1 on the road this season. Best in the AFC. Their lone loss away from the RCA Dome came in Jacksonville. Right now they trail 17-10. 9:59 to go in the 4th. Manning out of the shotgun from the 27. Complete to Brandon Stokely. And Stokely is hit at the 33, a 6-yard gain. 2nd and 4, only 2 linemen on the field for Houston, Deloach and Martin. On 2nd down, trying to reestablish James. Edgerrin James. And bangs it out to the 46-yard line for 13 yards on the carry.
Well, Tyron Glenn does an excellent job of cutting off the backside. He cuts Steve Foley. That creates, see that huge running lane that Edgerrin James has? That's because the left tackle, Tyron Glenn, cut off the backside pursuit. And what a gaping hole for Edgerrin James.
Big numbers for Edgerrin, 148 yards. On the ground and a touchdown. Out of the shotgun, throwing again. Stokely's been the #1 target for Peyton Manning. And a 1st down for Indianapolis.
And I see why, because Stokely, when he catches the ball, he gets going vertical. He gets going towards that 1st down marker. He's not pattering his feet and trying to sidestep people. He's turning it up the field, and he's able to move the chain.
Stokely won a Super Bowl ring as a member of the Baltimore Ravens. Colts are going to the playoffs this year and would love to be back on this field for Super Bowl 38 in February. 1st and 10. Colts on the move once again at the 43 of the Texans. Here's Manning, pump fake. Manning looks the other way and throws. High toss. Excellent body control by Reggie Wayne. And a 1st down for Indianapolis out near the 25, working on Coleman.
Now watch the head of Peyton Manning does a good job pointing out the blitz, and then he's able to get the ball down the field to Reggie Wayne, who has great vertical skills going up over Marcus Coleman. But it was Dominique Rhodes who picked up the blitzer, and Peyton Manning was pointing. Everybody talks about him pointing at the line of scrimmage, but it was his head, making the play with his head, pointing out the blitzer for his fullback that allowed him to complete the pass.
And a 1st down for Indianapolis. Manning. Handed off. Dominique Rhodes. Thrown down by Jamie Sharper. A gain of 1.
Well, you know, Tyron Glenn got the block on Sharper, and he knocked him into midair. It just so happened that Sharper was knocked into midair. Watch him here. You'll see him come, but watch the block by Glenn. But it knocks him right into the running back. And this is where Dominique Rhodes has to be a little more patient, wait for that block, then cut it back. because had he just been just a split second more patient, he would have been able to cut that ball up off the block by Tarek Glenn.
And a 2nd and 9 now for the Colts. Under 7 minutes to go. Manning steps up, looking to run, and nowhere to go. Steve Martin brings him down up the gut.
Well, there were 5 guys who released up the field for Peyton Manning. Every last one of them were covered, and 2 were actually double covered. So Tom Moore, he'll send in 3 plays from the line of scrimmage. Peyton Manning has to check out of it. That time he didn't, decided to go with the initial play, and Houston had it covered up very well.
Loss of 3 on the play. Indianapolis has controlled the clock, but not the scoreboard. 4 receiver formation. On a 3rd and 12. Flags down.
Offense, number 78, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Crowd noise may have caused it with Tarek Glenn.
Well, Glenn thought he was running out of time, thought the ball was going to be snapped, has to be more patient because they practice with the crowd noise. They know they're going to run the no huddle, so they have to be able to be patient. That time, and you watch the Houston Texans on defense, they're showing the 3-down lineman front, and they're dropping 8 players into coverage to cover the pass. Now, they may bring a guy up to blitz and provide that 4th down lineman, but right now they're electing to cover the pass with 8 players.
3rd and 17. Manning out of the shotgun. Manning throwing on the run. And swatted away by Vaughn.
There is nowhere to go with the football. When you have 8 players in coverage, and they're only covering an area of maybe 30, 35 yards, there's nowhere to go with the football. Look, Vaughn is running up the field, and then the safety, Eric Brown, he's coming over the top. So there's your double coverage bracket on Marvin Harrison. So there is nowhere to go with the football. They want to force Peyton Manning to dump it off, but he knows he has to have a bigger gain in order to pick up the 1st down.
Mike Vanderjagt is going for the NFL record. Most consecutive field goals made. Trying to break the mark that he currently shares with Gary Anderson. A fake and a pooch. Trying to roll it inside the 10, and Vanderjagt did it perfectly. Tony Dungy is going to trust his defense with 5 and change left in the 4th. Houston with a 17-10. Houston 17, Indianapolis 10. 5:22 to go on the 4th here at Reliant Stadium. Texans take over a 1st and 10 from the 4 after the pooch punt by Mike Vanderjagt. Handoff, Davis running into a crowd. And no gain on the play.
Now Houston can put this game away, but they're going to have to mount a considerable drive here. They've gone 3 and out on their last 2 possessions and had to give the ball right back to the Indianapolis Colts. They have to be able to close out football games. Been in a number of close games so far this year and let one get away last week against the Tennessee Titans. So you can get it done offensively by sustaining a drive here.
And that's taking the next step as an organization. Now in their 2nd year of existence, 2nd and 9. Davis cutting it back. And Davis does create some extra yardage just because of effort. And he gains 5 yards.
He is exceptional at getting yards after contact. He's able to make the first guy miss, but watch him. He's going to get contact right around, what, the 5-yard line right there. But see, look at it. Still has those legs churning. Look, churning, picks up another 4 or 5 yards after initial contact.
Able to run over Drees Bashir, who has returned from a dislocated right shoulder. Huge play on 3rd and 4. We approach 4 minutes to go. 4th quarter. Carr to throw. Carr rifles one. Intercepted. Donald Strickland's got it down the sideline, and that's exactly what Tony Dungy was looking for. They pin the Texans back in their own territory, and a turnover.
And it's exactly what Dom Capers did not want. And if you're David Carr, you have to understand where you're at in the game and not have this costly mistake. Yeah, this ball is going to be tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it sails right into the hands of the defensive back, Strickland. And you have to do a better job understanding I cannot create a turnover here, because if you punt, that's a good thing. But The thing you don't want is you don't want to turn it over to this potent Indy offense deep into your own territory.
And the line of scrimmage just shy of the 5-yard line for Peyton Manning and the Colts. Manning trying to get the play. And they only had 10 men on the field. Brandon Stokely just came rushing out to the huddle.
Peyton has to do everything, doesn't he? Tell everyone where to go, who's playing, who's not, come in the game.
He's a pretty good multitasker.
He's pretty good.
First and goal, just outside of the 5. Indianapolis looking for the equalizer. James in the backfield. Manning throws. Up top, Brandon Stokely's got it. Touchdown, Colts.
And Ian, these are the type of plays that they work on in the red zone. They'll come out early before the game even starts, an hour before kickoff. Stokely, Harrison, Reggie Wayne, they come out and they work on plays like this with Peyton Manning, and then they come out and they execute and make it look very easy. It's just a simple toss to the slot receiver, Stokely, but watch the extension by Stokely as he hauls this one in. And boy, he's healthy and he's contributing to this offense at the right time, right when they need him.
8th catch for Stokely. That's a new career high, all set up by the pick from the rookie from Colorado, Donald Strickland. Extra point, Mike Vanderjagt. This is for the tie. We know from New Orleans last week, you can't take anything for granted, but Vanderjagt able to put that one through.
Yeah, you got to convert on extra points. Needless to say. I guess we do have to say it now because it's not an automatic.
John Carney found out the hard way last week. This one is tied at 17. And the Colts with a comeback in the second half. David Carr, his turnover helps setting up Indianapolis. One play and a touchdown to Stokely.
Well, we keep saying it week in and week out that turnovers are the great equalizer. You expect the Colts to come in here and blow out this Houston Texas team. Well, they get 2 turnovers and then they have a 17-3 lead. And then they give the ball right back and you turn around. Now the game's tied at 17 apiece. So when you turn the ball over, you decrease your chance of winning. And I'm sure David Carr, he's definitely lamenting that last pass that ended up in the hands of Donald Strickland.
Well, Houston has been in so many close games this season. It's a learning process, and early in the year, it was a positive. Week 1 victory at Miami, maybe the biggest in franchise history, and then another win over Jacksonville late against the Jets. Wasted opportunities. Adam Vinatieri, week 12, wins it for New England, and last week, McNair to Bennett. Coleman on the ground as Bennett catches the game winner.
And that one was a dagger in the hearts of the Houston Texans and their fans. Everyone here in Houston, where they really felt that loss last week to Tennessee.
Kickoff to J.J. Moses. And Moses crossing the 25. Hurdles his way to the 27. And brought down by Robert Mathis on special teams. A 21-yard return. Whole new ball game. 17-17. 3:42 to go on the 4th. And also, Solomon, look at the sequence. Tony Dungy's decision to have Vanderjagt punt it and pin the Texans back. And that's that danger zone that David Carr made the mistake.
Very smart play. You pin the team deep down in their own territory, and now they can't make any mistakes. And that's what happened. David Carr gave them the mistake that the Indianapolis Colts were looking for. Now it's going to be interesting to see how Chris Palmer calls the offensive plays on this possession.
On first down, tie ball game, under 4 minutes to go. Handoff, Dominic Davis, 2 touchdown runs today. Davis remaining on his feet. And then the white jerseys swarm in the rookie's direction. 2-yard gain. Harper and Strickland are there to bring them down.
Not a bad decision to give the ball to Dominic Davis. And certainly he's been your bread and butter, having a big day so far. But you're going to have to take some shots also, because they have been able to run against this defense. They have been able to throw it. But on their last 3 possessions, they've been anemic on the offensive side of the ball.
Davis, 1 yard shy of cracking 100 on the day. Play action. Carr throws it to the sideline, incomplete. Diving attempt by Corey Bradford for Houston. And some pressure there from Josh Williams. 3rd and 8 upcoming. Houston and Indianapolis tied at 17, 2:59 to go in the fourth. Touchdown pass, Manning to Stokely to even this one up. Houston facing a 3rd and 8 from their own 30-yard line. Colts defense has come up big in the fourth quarter. Carr throwing off his back foot. Jump ball. Billy Miller. Broken up. Drees Bashir, the free safety, making the play. And the Colts hold defensively. Houston forced to punt with 2:53 remaining. Fourth quarter. Game has taken a turn here in this fourth period. A number of 3-and-outs for the Texans in this second half. Stanley the punt. Flag down. Walters from the 20. Here's Walters. Stutter step. Walters to the 30 and brought down. .240 to play in the fourth quarter. 17-17 Houston and Indianapolis. Peyton Manning is going to be given a chance to rally his team for a season-ending victory and a number 3 seed in the AFC postseason.
During the kick, holding by the receiving team while the kick was in the air. That's a 10-yard penalty enforced from the end of the kick. Indianapolis keeps the ball, first down.
Fourth quarter momentum shift here in Houston with Indianapolis getting back into it. The running of Edgerrin James helped set the tone for the Colts.
Yeah, the blocking up front, Edgerrin James pounding the running game, and then the interception by David Carr into the hands of Donald Strickland turned the tide for this offense, and they get the ball to Brandon Stokely for the touchdown to tie the game at 17 apiece.
And now a costly penalty on special teams, backing the Colts all the way back to the 10-yard line. 2:40 left to go in the fourth. On the line for the Colts, AFC South title, a home game next week in the wild card round. For the Texans, trying to finish their season in a positive fashion and trying to wrap up their second year of existence at 6-10. Colts trying to erase the result of a week ago when they got embarrassed by Denver. Manning throwing. And Brandon Stokely having a career day. That is his 9th catch of the afternoon. And it's good for 6 yards. Manning, 15 career fourth quarter comebacks. He has already had 3 this season. Colts haven't lost consecutive games since weeks 8 and 9 of the 02 season. 24 games over that span. It's James running hard and across the 25. A first down for the Colts. 10-yard run for Edgerrin James as we hit the 2-minute warning. Trying to win their first division title since 1999 when they took home the AFC East crown that year. Now a member of the AFC South. Colts 17, Texans 17. On first down, Manning under a rush. Manning throws it away. Jerry DeLoach had him by the ankle. And a flag down.
Well, they're going to call this one intentional grounding because he was in between the tackles. He was in the clutches of Jerry DeLoach and cannot throw the ball away.
Manning pleading his case, saying there was a Colt in the area. And that's what Ed Hockley now has to weigh.
Yeah, they're going to discuss it because there was a player in that direction. And Peyton showing tremendous arm strength to even get the ball that far.
The rule on intentional grounding, the question is whether there's a receiver in the area. If the pass is thrown over his head, there is no foul. Number 87 was in the area. Therefore, there's no foul for intentional grounding. Second down.
Peyton Manning, the lawyer, now is working out well.
Well, here you see, you're going to look down at the bottom of the screen. That's Reggie Wayne. And we'll have to see if that's where he's going for. See, here's your guy right there. And that's where Peyton Manning threw the football. And so I think it was very wise of the officials to convene and talk about it and get it right. And they did. They picked up the flag and said there's no infraction on the play.
And a convincing argument from the Pro Bowler Manning. Now a 2nd and 10. Avoiding a loss on the play. Rush is coming. Manning, soft toss, knocked up in the air and almost intercepted. Stokely with Simmons on the outside.
Well, the ball, first of all, is overthrown because Peyton Manning, he's under tremendous pressure. And so when he throws the ball, he throws it high to Stokely. And this ball is nearly intercepted by Simmons. But you see the pressure in the face, and he tries to guide that ball over to Stokely, and that's why it sails high. But Stokely has the presence of mind to stay with it and bat that ball down to keep Simmons from intercepting the pass.
And Stokely injured his shoulder on the play. Went to the sideline. Pivotal 3rd down for Indianapolis, tied at 17. Manning on a rollout. Manning throwing to Marvin Harrison. It's been a quiet day for the Pro Bowler, and he picks up a 1st down, 16 yards, just his 2nd reception of the afternoon.
Well, he came in needing 8 receptions to go over 100 yards for the season 5 years in a row. And, you know, he wants that goal, but more importantly, he wants to be able to make plays like this down the stretch to help his team secure a division title.
1:38 left on the clock. We are in the 4th. 1st and 10 for the Colts from their own 42. On the handoff, Edgerrin James. He is just gaining strength as the day rolls on. 13-yard gain. He is wearing out this Houston defense.
You're talking about wearing them out because Indianapolis only had 37 offensive snaps last week. That's the lowest in the 51-year history of the franchise. But this Texans defense, they played 71 snaps last week against Tennessee. So while they're wearing down, this offense for the Colts, they're fresh.
It may come down to Mike Vanderjagt. Manning, pump fake. Manning running. Peyton Manning sliding down at the 35-yard line.
He's going to be shy of the 1st down marker, but this is not a play that you expect Peyton Manning to call. It's a quarterback draw, but there's no linebackers on the 2nd level, and that's why he's just very smart, very heady player who understands that I can take off and run all day with this football if I just tuck it and run.
And Tony Dungy has called a timeout. Indianapolis has 2 remaining, under a minute to go. And the Colts are driving. Now playoff implications there, playoff implications here. 47 seconds remaining in the 4th. Houston and Indianapolis tied at 17. Dom Capers' team, they've been involved in so many close games throughout the season. Indianapolis, they've had the most consistent kicker in the game this year, Mike Vanderjagt, and it may come down to a game-winning field goal attempt here at Reliant Stadium.
You think they're telling the Texans defensive back stay deep after what happened last week with Drew Bennett and the Tennessee Titans? 17 seconds left and 4th and 10. They're able to complete a 27-yard touchdown pass. I would bet that every defensive player in the secondary is staying deep.
On a 2nd and 1. Handed off. Dominique Rhodes bouncing off tacklers and a 1st down for the Colts. He gains 5 on the play. When the clock is moving. Down to 30 seconds left. Vanderjagt also has a potential record in mind for most consecutive field goals by an NFL kicker. He's tied with Gary Anderson for that mark. On the handoff, getting to the outside, and Rhodes driven towards the sideline. A gain of 3. They are trying to give Vanderjagt an easier attempt at a game-winning field goal.
And that's why it was a good call by the offensive coordinator, Tom Moore. Yeah, you want to run the ball. You want to call a safe play. You don't want to fumble, don't want to throw the interception. But this type of run play allows you to get out of bounds and stop the clock as well.
15 seconds remain. Line of scrimmage is now the 27. Vanderjagt getting prepared. 2nd and 7 for Indianapolis. Brandon Stokely has returned for the Colts. Indy trying to pull off the come-from-behind win. Handed off up the middle. Some extra yardage once again for Dominique Rhodes. 3-yard gain and a timeout taken for Indy.
Well, they're well within Vanderjet's range right now. He's been consistent, and he can help clinch a division title with this kick.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. Our situation here at Reliant Stadium, site of Super Bowl 38 here on CBS. Houston and Indianapolis tied at 17. 9 seconds remain. And a 3rd and 3 for the Colts. Right now, you're looking at about a 41, 42-yard attempt for Mike Vanderjagt. Colts will run one more play.
And they may look just to get the ball right in the middle of the football field to make it even easier for Vanderjagt.
Edgerrin James back in there, and Manning keeps it himself. They'll call the quickie timeout. And enough time for Mike Vanderjagt in a pressure situation to come out and give Indianapolis the division title.
And you notice what Peyton Manning did. He fell right in the middle of the football field, right between the hashes, to make it as easy as possible for Vanderjagt to pop this one right through the uprights.
He has made 40 consecutive field goals, tying Gary Anderson for the NFL record. This is for the record, and more importantly, could be for the win.
There's a lot riding on this one. They could fall to a number 6 seed possibly in the AFC side of the playoffs. There's so much riding on this game for the Indianapolis Colts.
A 43-yard attempt is what Vanderjagt is staring at. Manning and the Colts offense did the job getting down the field. So much on the line. 43 yards away. And a timeout.
Timeout, Houston.
Houston will ice Mike Vanderjagt here in the final moments.
Well, he's cool as ice. 40 consecutive field goals, tying an NFL record. He has made a lot of big kicks for the Indianapolis Colts. He's one of the weapons. He's $1 million kicker, making 7 figures, and that's because Bill Polian and Tony Dungy, they expect a lot of things from Mike Vanderjagt, and all he's done is come through every single time.
Indianapolis here in the 4th quarter. The defense came up big. Offensively, they were able to get it done on the ground with Edgerrin James. We talked about the defense and the important pick by the rookie Donald Strickland. It then turned into the touchdown. Manning to Stokely. That tied it up. And now Vanderjagt to win it. 43 yards away. So much on the line for Indianapolis. Looking for the division title from 43 yards. And he nails it with no time left. Indianapolis, the champions of the AFC South and the number 3 seed in the AFC playoffs. And Mike Vanderjagt, a record holder, 41 straight field goals made by that pressure kicker.
And it was a total team victory. The defense came through and got the turnovers. The offense made the plays down the stretch. And then the field goal by special teams, Mike Vanderjagt popping it through.
Indy gets the win to wrap up the regular season.